Look, anybody pushing that man, the way his party,
I don't want to dwell too much on health because we don't have the health records of both candidates at our disposal. Sadly,
we have.
Where do you have it?
Well, this president was 4 years in hospital in London, almost in a coma. Is that not a fact? 4 months.
4 months.
Yes, in the London hospital.
So
don't tell me that there is
4 years.
So
you initially said 4 years. That is the
forget
gap.
about it.
You cannot forget about it because you're making reference to the president's gaps, aren't you?
I'm not running for president, so forget about that.
Let us look at Let us focus on what both of you, what your candidates are promising Nigerians.
Now
we're seeing in recent times a number of endorsements. We're also seeing posters saying that, predicting victory for either of your candidates. First and foremost, let me ask you, Hassan, how do you react to the polls that are predicting Vice President Atiku to win your candidate?
Mark, I'm a representative of the people. Most of the people I represent are in the rural areas. Most of the votes are in the rural areas. Now, most of the polls you are seeing, these are online polls, and people that actually have the real votes, they don't even have access to internet. They don't even know how those polls were made. So forget about the online polls you're seeing across the country, seeing presidential candidate of this candidate is more than the presidential candidate of that another candidate. Go to the grassroots and ask people and hear the impulse about President Muhammadu Buhari, and other candidates of PDP, like we have about 70 presidential candidates. So go around, go to the villages. Those polls will actually show to you who is the most preferred candidate in this country.
Well, would you say it depends on the region that you visit? I mean, if you say that in your own area, for instance, you represent a constituency, if you say that in your own area, your people prefer President Muhammadu Buhari, some people will say, that is your own area. Have you made the rounds to other areas?
Can we talk about regions? I saw so many analysis going on newspapers, online platforms.
Yeah.
Then let's talk about regions. Northeast, 100% is Muhammadu Buhari, because yes, of course, I'm from the Northeast. I know how the northeastern part of the country appreciates.
That's what Buhari should have said.
Of course, I know how the
let him quickly finish the analysis. You have the time
I know
to
how the northeastern part of the country appreciates the fact that we are now living in peace. The insurgency he is saying that actually resurfaced is in some parts of Borno, but if you go to the northeastern part of the country, Bauchi, which is my state, is the exit into northeast if you are coming from Plateau. If you're coming out of northeastern part of the country, you have to pass through Bauchi. I know how we had influx of IDPs, but now they are all back to their homes. Like about 80% of them are back to their states. If you go to Yobe, it's relatively peaceful.
That's northeast, northwest. I mean, because some people also take you up on the fact that northeast,
that's what I'm telling you. I'm done with northeast. Go to the northwest. That is the region where President Muhammadu Buhari is from. He's from Katsina State, and that is also a stronghold of the president. So that is it's a no-go area for any candidate in this country.
North Central.
Go to the North Central. The only state that I think we have an issue as APC is Benue State because of the farmer-herder clashes, and also the issue with the governor decamping from APC back to PDP. But nevertheless, only Benue is an issue in North Central. So I'm talking about the North now, but most of the states in North Central, these are APC strongholds. Look at our campaign. Look at the support we are getting from people. People from villages who have actually the votes, not people that go online, that have access to internet, that are not more than 2% of the population of this country.
Okay, what about Southeast, South, and Southwest?
Okay, I'm very glad to talk about Southeast. Things are changing now in the Southeast because before PDP think Southeast is their stronghold. The southeastern part of the country and the people now appreciates the fact that there are some infrastructure development going on in that region, and also they can't afford to lose to be part of the central government. They want to align with the central because in 2023 they have a high chance of getting back power to the southeastern part of the country. And also, they need more appointments, they need more people in government, they need more infrastructure development, they need more people to get involved in policy making and implementation.
You think that's why they will vote for the PDP, I'm sorry, for the APC instead of the PDP?
That is one of the reasons.
Which has a vice presidential candidate.
That is one of the reasons, but the most important reason is the infrastructure development going on in the southeast. And
like
look at how,
like
look at the president. He
mention one.
He
mention one infrastructure.
Let him finish, please.
No.
Mr. Shutoko, I'm asking the questions
I can let me finish.
By all means.
You also have the record that there are federal roads going on now. There are projects going on in the southeastern parts of the country, and also the second Niger Bridge, which your party, the PDP, abandoned for how many years? Now, the APC government under President Muhammadu Buhari is actually, embarking on that project, and
let's look at the South-South.
South-South, to some extent, I will say, okay, it's a PDP stronghold, but as a politician, I won't lose hope that I will get the support from South-South people.
Because politicians are eternally optimistic.
I'm very, very optimistic.
What about the APC? Southwest?
Well, it's Southwest, of course, it's APC. Our national leader is from there. We have more governors in the Southwest, and there are lots and lots of development, infrastructure development programs that have been implemented.
You've always seen how close the polls are in the Southwest. I mean, they're usually very close. It's not like one party dominates strongly.
Well, for now, I'm very optimistic. 80% Southwest is APC. And it's for President Muhammadu Buhari. And the national leader is doing his best to see that we get more support, even from people within Akin's party, the PDP, even supporting APC.
Let me get your own analysis. I don't want you to react to his own. I want you to give us your own analysis for your candidate.
Most of look, I don't think he means to be taken seriously. The first statement he made is that they will win 100% in Northeast. Most of the things that he was saying is idle speculation. Personally, I'm not interested in what the poll says, even though it has favored my candidate. The last one that came out, the Williams Associate. Well, look, you are here attributing what you think, saying that online polls. Are you in a position to know how these polls were conducted? The last one that was released yesterday or day before yesterday was actually a comprehensive, did the same in 2015 and was almost spot on, the Williams Associates. So you sit here attributing typical of APC, gassing off, saying you score 80% in the Southwest. Look, even though it favors us, as I said, frankly speaking, I think that attributing for 45% victory to our candidates is actually an understatement. So I don't know. Look, Atiku comes from the Northeast, Adamawa, Taraba, and here is a representative of APC saying Atiku will score 0 there. That is a Buhari kind of statement, because there is no relation to reality. But as I said, so I'm not interested in, arguing about, speculating about polls or no polls, we will soon discover what is happening. But you see, there are things, if money shows the day. If the president felt the need to come and be importing people from Niger, that shows you the level of their confidence about the supposed strongholds. So look, polls or no polls, this poll that gave Atiku the victory was concluded about a week ago. Now, there is no way Nigerians will continue seeing the spectacle of the president on the roastings. Imagine that what you saw yesterday happened on Friday next week, and you are a Nigerian going to vote the following day. You have this image at the back of your mind of a president collapsing or saying something that is totally at variance with reality. So increasingly, you see the momentum is on. Look, he has actually done most of the campaign for us. By demobilizing his own.
Interestingly,
yes,
the polls you're referring to by Williams Associate did not make any reference to health. It made reference to the things that people thought about. I mean, talks about what is important to them.
Important.
Of course, health is important. So I have not denied that. But what I'm saying is, the polls we're referring to did not make any reference whatsoever.
If it does, we will score higher. We will have scored higher if it did. because it's apparently you have just made another strong point in support of our own platform. If you are taking health into consideration,
I asked you. Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Oshuntokun. I asked you to make your own analysis because he has done his own, and a lot of people have their different. Yes, give us your own analysis of how you think your candidates will win across the country.
Listen, the first thing, the most important thing about this presidential election, the good thing about it is that the potential for it to result in violence or crisis has been diminished by the fact that both candidates share the same geo-ethnic religious base. They are both Fulani Muslims. Now, the only time President Buhari contested against a person who comes from a similar base, they shared, the north. So, but as I said, the most important is that because it doesn't give room for the exploitation of cleavages. That one is our son, the other is not our son, or whatever it is. But in the Northeast, for instance, this is the first time that the Northeast will have a presidential candidate since the past 50 years.
No,
so
just
wait, what?
Mr. Oshuntokun, I have to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I'll let you finish your thoughts when we come. We have to go on break. I'm sorry. We'll go on break now. When we come back, Mr. Oshuntokun will finish his thoughts, and then we'll take your own reactions as well to what you think of the polls. Do they really reflect what you think? In a moment, please stay with us.